Welcome back guys. In this video I'll be testing Silent Hill F on my ROG lab running on Linux based Bazzite operating system. It comes with Radeon 780M GPU which is based on RDNA 3 architecture. Silent Hill F is a survival horror game set during the 1960s in a fictional town based in Japan, following a high school student fighting for survival, Hinako. Now I'll be showing you how to use FP8 model of FSR Upscaler in this game. The in-game cutscenes are capped at 30 FPS, so I'll be using Lyall's SHfFix to remove this 30 FPS cap. We'll be using Optiscaler Mod to inject FSR Upscaler into the game. First I'll run the game without any mods installed, show you the base game performance using G Proton version 10-17 as the compatibility layer. Connected my FlyDG with a 4 Pro controller to allow via Bluetooth mode, X input controller, handheld Daemon settings. Advanced settings, TDP value set to 27 watts. TDP boost disable using a very aggressive fan curve. CPU settings, CPU power set to low, CPU boost disable, GPU frequency set to auto. I'll also show you Bazzite OS system info. My Lyall is running on BIOS version 342. I have set the UMA buffer size to 4 GB. GPU driver RADB 25.2.1. In order to use FP8 model of FSR4, your Linux based PC should not have a MESA GPU driver older than 25.2. Need to use the latest version of G Proton, and we also need to use the RDNA 3 workaround. Play. On ROG Windows, we need to install D3-D12 proxy to fix the in-game indirect lighting. This is not required for ROG Bazzite. On ROG Bazzite, I didn't encounter any graphical artifacts during the in-game cutscenes, but I did observe some artifacts on ROG Windows. For example, during a cutscene when the game transitioned from one scene to another, game's colors were not rendered properly for a brief moment. They flashed green or purple. First I'll run the game at 720p resolution, display mode windowed, no FPS cap applied, VSync is off. Indirect lighting lumen high, there is no low option. If you disable indirect lighting, the game's colors will look way too bright. This setting comes with a big hit on the performance, reflections, screen space. Everything set to low Upscaler FSR using its quality preset. Performance QM settings, OLE level set to 3, frame limit 120, VRR enabled. There's Hinako. I just left my home, heading for the nearby town. Yeah, hey, FPS is close to 60, that's really good to see. Spinning the camera, oh my god, look at that ugly ghosting around our character model, especially her head. This is the in-game FSR 3.1 Upscaler. Okay, I'll just change the graphics preset to medium. Good to see. FPS close to 60. Not using any frame generation technique. Just set everything to medium except for post-processing quality. Motion blur disabled. Resume the game from the same spot. FPS dropped to around 50. FPS dropped by around 10 to 11 after switching from low to medium settings. Entering the town, there will be a few hiccups. See, yeah, look at that spike. The game does suffer from traversal stutters. It always stutters at some specific points, areas. See, I'll just change the resolution to 900p now. FPS should still be above 30, close to 40. Resume the game. Yeah, I'm still observing some ghosting around Hinako's character model. This is very disappointing. Even after increasing the resolution to 900p, and look at that ugly shimmering going on in the background. I'll just trigger a cutscene now. FPS stays within a range of 40 to 44. Cutscene, yeah, they are capped at 30 FPS. I'll be using Lyall's SHfFix to disable this 30 FPS cap. I'll show you the process now. I'll be using Optiscaler Mod to inject FSR4 and XeSS Frame Generation into the game. We'll be using an older build of Optiscaler Mod version 0.9 preview to 2025-0907, available on the Discord server. Just click on the .cmg link here. I'll give the link to their Discord in the description of the video. This build of Optiscaler Mod comes with FSR version 4.0.2 FP8 Upscaler, which is very heavy on RDNA 3 based GPUs, so I'll be downgrading it to FSR version 4.0.0 FP8. We'll be using AMD FidelityFX.DXGI file, which we can obtain from FidelityFX SDK version 1.1.4. Just click on the download icon here. I'll give the link to this site in the description. We'll be using Lyall's SHfFix to disable the 30 FPS cap from the cutscenes, version 0.0.1. And just click on a .zip link here. I'll give the link to this site in the description of the video. First, I'll install Lyall's SHfFix. Just open its archive file. Click on extract, name, type anything. Click on extract. Wait for the extraction process to complete. There's the folder. Close the archive window. Open the extracted folder. Select all of the files present inside this folder except for extract to game folder. Right click, cut. Open the games installed directory. Select the game in your Steam library. Right click, manage. Click on browse local files. Open SHF folder, binaries folder, Win64 folder. Paste everything here. We are done. Now I'll install Optiscaler Mod. Just open its archive file. Click on extract, name, type anything. Click on extract. Wait for the extraction process to complete. There you go. Close the archive window. Open the extracted folder. Now just select the highlighted files. libxcss.dll, XeSS super resolution file, libxcss frame generation.dll, optiscaler.dll file. Select all of the DX12 versions of FidelityFX files. Vulkan version FidelityFX not required. Nukem 9 Smart not required. FidelityFX frame generation DX12. Fake NV API.dll, fake NV API.ini, libxcss, libxcll.dll, XeSS low latency mode file, DX11 version of XeSS super resolution not required, optiscaler.ini file, FidelityFX loader file. Yeah, that's it. This game does not support NVIDIA Reflex. I don't think XeSS low latency mode will work when we enable XeSS frame generation via Optiscaler. Just open the games installed directory. Open SHF folder, binaries folder, Win64 folder. Paste everything here. 10 items. Apply to all, overwrite. Highlight the pasted files. I'll be disabling DXGI spoofing in this game. We'll be using the in-game FSR 3.1 Upscaler to activate Optiscaler Mod. Before that, just change the name of Optiscaler.dll file to DXGI.dll, rename. Now open Optiscaler.ini file. There it is. Click on edit, click on find, and just type spoofing. This section will pop up. Under this section, look for a line name DXGI and just set it to false. Using this feature, NVIDIA GPU is spoofed on unsupported hardware. Save, close. In order to use XeSS frame generation, we need to disable Dilated Motion Vectors. This can be done by adding a few lines to the game's Engine.ini file. This file is present in the game's compa data directory. Game's compa data folder name is the same as its Steam ID. We can obtain this ID by searching for it on Google or simply using Proton Tricks. It's a free application that you can download from Discover Store. Run it. This window will pop up. Silent Hill F. Yeah, this is its Steam ID and the name of its compa data folder 2947440. It's going to be the same for every user who owns the Steam version of the game. Now I'll navigate to the compa data directory. Open Dolphin File Explorer, click on Home. In this directory, look for a folder name .local. If this folder is not visible on your PC, click on the hamburger icon here. Go to More, View, check the settings, show hidden files. Open Share folder, Now you need to open Steam folder. There it is. Now open Steam apps folder. Look for a folder named Compa Data. Look for the games Compa Data folder. Its name ends with the numbers 440. There's the folder 2947440. Open it. Open PFX folder, Drive C folder, Users folder, Steam user folder, App data folder, Local folder, SHF folder, Set folder, Config folder, Windows folder. Here in this directory create a new text file and name it as Engine.ini. Change the extension from .txt to .ini. Click on OK. Select the file, right click, open with. Need to use any text editor. I'll just use Kate. And just paste the following lines. I'll provide these lines in the description of the video. You can copy the lines from there, paste them here. Click on Save, Close. Select the file, right click, Properties. Click on Permissions. Click on the drop down bar next to Owner and select Can Only View. Click on OK, Close. Now we need to add FSR4, RDNA 3 GPU workaround and a launch argument for Lyall's Fix to work. Select the game in your Steam library. Click on the settings cog here. Click on Properties. Click on General under Launch Options. Add this line of text. I'll provide it in the description of the video. You can just copy it from there, paste it here. At this point, FSR version 4.0.2 FP8 Upscaler will work. I haven't downgraded it to FSR version 4.0.0 yet. Launch the game. Just make sure screen mode is not set to full screen. If you want to use XeSS Frame Gen, 900p resolution, post-processing settings set to low, restore settings set to medium, lumen high, Upscaler set to FSR using its quality preset. Once the game loads up, just press the insert keyboard key to open Optiscaler menu, increase its size, click on the drop down bar next to menu UI scale, set the value to 1.4. Click on the drop down bar next to change upscaler and select FSR 3.x as the option. Click on change upscaler. Display will freeze for a few seconds. Do not worry, normal process. Just wait for Optiscaler Mod to do its thing. And the display is working again. Took about 30 seconds. Version of FSR Upscaler 4.0.2 input Ingame FSR Upscaler DXGI spoofing. Yeah, it's disabled. I'll enable auto exposure setting. Models setting set to default. It automatically selected the model for me 1, which corresponds to the quality preset of the Ingame Upscaler. Frame generation disabled for the time being. I'll enable Optiscaler's performance overlay, expand FPS overlay section, check the setting FPS overlay enabled, full plus graph, position, top right, scale 1.4, base resolution 1067 by 601 pixels upscale to 900p, save and close. The FPS dropped to around 25 as expected. Upscaler time, oh my god, it's close to 15 milliseconds. FSR 4.0.2 FP8 Upscaler is very demanding on RDNA 3 GPUs. No ghosting is produced around the character model. Only use this upscaler on high-end RDNA 3 GPUs. I'll just downgrade it to version 4.0.0 to improve the performance. Just copy AMD Fidelity FX.DXGI file that you downloaded from FSR SDK version 1.1.4 GitHub page. Open the games installed directory. Open SHF folder, binaries folder, Win64 folder. Paste the file here. Override. Now just open Optiscaler.ini file. Click on edit here. Click on find. Type FSR4 and hit enter twice. Just set FSR4 update to true. Click on save, close, switch to gaming mode, launch the game. We are in. Yeah, you can see in Optiscaler's performance overlay version of FSR Upscaler 4.0.0, so that worked. Jumped into the game. Now open Optiscaler menu, version of the Upscaler 4.0.0, current model 1, which corresponds to quality preset of the upscaler. Rest of the settings they are left as they are, same base resolution. Here FPS is close to 32. Upscaler time, it's around 5.5 milliseconds. To improve the performance, I'll just drop the resolution to 720p. I want to enable XeSS Frame Gen as well. 720p resolution selected. Back to the game. Here FPS increased to around 40. That's really good to see. Big improvement in terms of performance after dropping the resolution from 900p to 720p, and the image quality, it's still looking clean. No shimmering is produced in the background. Spinning the camera, not seeing any coasting now. Good results produced by FSR Upscaler FP8 model. Trigger a cutscene. Cutscene is playing. Yeah, we are getting close to 35 FPS, hitting the GPU bottleneck. So Lyall's fix is working. It's good to see. Skip the cutscene. Now we're in the village. I'll show you how to enable XeSS Frame Gen. Just open Optiscaler menu, click on the drop down bar next to FG source and select OptiFG as the option, Upscaler. Click on the drop down bar next to FG output and select XeFG as the option. Click on save and close. Restart the game. Play. Once the game loads up, just open Optiscaler menu, check the setting active under frame generation XeFG. The frame time graph will become thick like this. I'll also use SHfFix Setting to fix the ghosting produced around the subtitles. Set the limit value to 2. Check the debug view. Purple sidebars will be present if XeSS Frame Gen is working properly. Here I can observe the added amount of smoothness. See. Disable the debug view. Show detected UI. UI elements should be highlighted pink in color. Let's just play the game. Save and close. 90 FPS. Check out the real world input delay. Smoothing effect, it's very consistent. Here the game always stutters. See, it's an invisible wall. Whenever I cross it, game stutters. Next area gets loaded up. Our friend shoe. Okay, I'll just skip this cutscene. Show you the fog monster sequence. It's a very demanding sequence. You can see the fog monster right on my tail. Game's HUD elements, they are not flickering. Need to stay away from this red moss and even the red vines. They can grab us, halting our progress, allowing the fog monster to catch up to us. $60 to 70 FPS. Image quality, it's looking good, not observing any artifacts. This is a cutscene. If I hand install Lyall's fix, FPS would have dropped to around 30 during a cutscene. In this sequence, oh no, it was that vine that grabbed me. I survived. This is a scripted sequence. Not safe yet. Oh, I got grabbed again. What am I doing? Need to keep my distance from the red vine. Almost at the end. After this I'll show you some combat. Not this again. Low on HP. Oh, the monster. Made it. Quickly take out this thing. Counter window is highlighted by a visual indicator. The enemy flashes red in color. When this happens, need to whack the enemy by pressing the right trigger like this. It's going to stagger it. Dodge. I really like the combat in this game. Latency is not an issue. FPS stays in a range of 60 to 70 during combat. Whack the thing from behind. Other one is coming. Waiting for my stamina to replenish. I change my weapon. Don't want to break it. The weapons can be repaired. Oh no, dodge. That was close. Done. That's it with the video guys. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.